6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And I will drive 400 miles, and I will drive 400 more to be the number 9 for Newcastle and score a load of goals. Johan Wisse, Johan Wisse. There you go, guys. New tune.
Well done. Well done. That'll work.
It's a bit of a laugh, isn't it?
And I'll 100% agree with you. As long as he scores goals and can bear the mantle of the number 9 kit, then, fair play to him. I think he'll be fine.
Someone sent me that song. It was actually quite.
I think that's great.
I think it was funny. I liked it.
Yeah.
Obviously rushed through it, but there we go. Good evening, all. Welcome to Through Black Wise review of our transfer window. Still a few twists and turns, it seems. I was expecting Gaz, but he's late as always. If he turns up,
we'll see. Yeah.
Please like, share, subscribe, and hype to promote the channel. Don't forget, hype, thumbs up. If you want to become a member, super chat bottom right hand corner, all that sort of stuff. Please adhere to standard community guidelines. Keep comments respectful, and of course, enjoy the show. Evening, Gary. Evening, Chairs. Leslie. Lee's in the house as well. Mogul's in the house. Great to see you. Robbie's made it as well. Jimmy's made it as well. There has been a few twists, to be fair.
Yeah.
Before we go into the twists, I'm just going to say, right, we've been doing this for 8 weeks now? Something like that. I just want to say thank you to everyone who's been involved in all this, because I think we've stuck to keeping it real. We haven't jumped on all the bandwagon of all the stupid news. Nothing's been made up. Everything we've said has always come out in the press. It might have took a week to 2 weeks to 3 weeks, but every player we've mentioned linked to the club has always been mentioned by somebody in the press or online or some sort of thing. So we are just Newcastle fans, just wanting to know what's going on and trying to bring you guys a bit of a fun show, talking about transfers and trying to debunk all the rubbish. And I think we've done a good job of it this summer.
I think so. I agree with you. No rage baiting, no rumor
rage
mongering,
titles, no baiting titles, anything like that.
No.
Purely.
And none of us have claimed to be ITK.
Exactly.
So, except for that one instance, that one night in Newcastle when I bought a jersey. But that's it.
That was good. Good.
But we didn't do anything with it until after it was announced. Rat Boys Rat Sack. Well, there you go.
That's brilliant. Gear deal is off. Because Brighton turned down Palace, which is very interesting. The other thing as well is Emi Martinez has signed a new deal at Villa.
There you go.
I was shocked to hear that.
Well, he was in tears at the end of last season. It seemed that he was leaving, but
in tears at the Holt end, saying his goodbyes by the looks of things.
Well, as long as he wasn't holding a World Cup statue from his genitalia, I mean, then all better. I still think, what a dick, literally.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So, sorry.
I'm absolutely gutted because I've lost all my PSR information. I'm absolutely devastated. I've only got a little bit. I had this breakdown of what the exact deal would work and look like for the club, and I can't remember what I've done with it.
I sent you something earlier. There was a Reddit post last night where someone broke that down. I'll find it. No, I'll find it and I'll read it out.
Yeah. Something about where it works out with like 98 million or something stupid like
Something like that. 98 and a half.
Yeah.
Is what it eventually it essentially comes out to.
Yeah. Because what people got to remember is it's all atomized over the length of contracts. I mean, loads of people are saying that Newcastle have spent all the money on 2 strikers already. We haven't. We've actually, because the fee for Volta made was 69 million over a 5-year deal. So you've got to divide that by 5 over 5 years. The Wizard deal is for 4 years, 55 million. So divide 4 by 55, and that's over 4 years. So we haven't spent all that money in one go because you atomize it, and we're actually going to be in an unbelievable position for PSR now.
All right, you want me to read this out to you?
Please, yeah.
There are two transfer fees going around.
Just
one was
31. Forget the 125 because it's 130.
Okay. All right. So Newcastle stand to make £98.1 million in PSR headway with that 130 million mark. The breakdown is this: Isak was purchased for 63 million and a 10% of future profit clause.
Yeah.
He was signed on a 6-year contract, amortized over 5 years. This can be calculated by dividing 63 million by 5. 63 million divided by 5 is 12.6 million. Isak played for this club for 3 complete seasons, which means those 3 seasons worth of PSR can be wiped off the books. That's 63 million minus 12.6 million times 3 equals 25.2 million. This 25.2 million is an amount that we will not be getting back. There's 2 reported fees, blah, blah, blah. Regardless if the fee is 130 or 125, we have to deduct the 25.2 million. But we can't forget Real Sociedad's 10% profit clause. So $130 million, £130 million fee minus the 63 million that we spent on him equals 67 million in profit, which means a 6.7 million fee for Sociedad. So 130 minus the 25.2, which is the amortized profit or loss for 3 years, equals 104.8 million minus the 6.7 million in 10% profit, which comes out to 98.1 million. So that means for the next 5 years, we've got 98.1 million pounds in our pocketbook before we've factored in any other monies that we've got available to us.
Bingo.
So there, no, you didn't lose anything.
There we go. Well done.
Yep.
I was searching for it. I was like, where did I get it from?
Yep.
Yeah, no loyalty bonus
that.
either.
Said, yep.
So even though it was 130 million, and then we've got that on top of it, as far as I'm aware, and I don't know if this is right or wrong, but he was either going to get a 5, 10 or 15 million pound bonus from Newcastle. That's not happening. That was part of the deal when we sold him to Liverpool. They cancelled his bonuses. So there's another massive save.
Mm-hmm.
You can't atomize that, but it's still not going to be on our books. So absolutely fantastic stuff.
Yeah. I mean, for anybody who is bitching, like we said in the transfer show, anybody who's complaining saying, well, we should have gotten 150. No one at the club ever spoke the words 150 million. No one ever said our asking price is 150. That was one journalist who said it's what the current market value of the striker should be.
Yeah. Exactly.
We did say that 110 million from Liverpool was not our valuation. Well,
according to Luke Edwards, 130 million pound is in the bank, so that's what I'm going off.
yeah, exactly. So we got 130 million. Boom, done.
Exactly.
It is what it is.
We can now turn our back on him, forget about him, treat him like crap when he comes to St James's Park.
Rat's out.
Because he ruined everything. Weird how Bayern are paying 70 million for Jackson. I wouldn't pay less for Voltamade. Yeah, it is a little bit weird. I mean, they wanted Voltamade as their replacement for Harry Kane. So,
But I just don't think Stuttgart was willing to sell to Bayern Munich because that was just that's enforcing the dynasty.
yeah,
Is that fair? I mean, you're basically selling to a rival and strengthening the rival. Just
Yeah.
the same as we didn't want to sell to the red half of Merseyside. It is what it is. They paid. Bayern Munich wasn't willing to pay, and then we did.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, Alan's right. This is the best window we've had since the takeover, since that January
Agreed.
window when we signed Pope, Byrne, Trippier, Bruno. That kept us up. It's been
Target on loan. Yep.
Yeah. Bayern got forced into a corner potentially, but they could have waited till the end of the season and come in the summer again. That's what I don't get. Harry Kane's not injured; he's still scoring goals. So they thought they'd get him on the cheap next summer, and Stuttgart really didn't want to do business with Bayern. No love lost there. There we go. I find it mad Bayern willing to pay 70 million for Jackson. Yeah, me too. To be fair,
someone said to me in another chat earlier. They said, why didn't we, take a punt on Harry Kane and bring him back to England? I said, quite frankly, I don't want Harry Kane breaking Alan Shearer's records wearing a black and white shirt.
Yeah.
And then the explanation that the person gave me was, I'd rather him do it in a black and white shirt than any other color.
Yeah, that is true as well, isn't it? I mean, if Harry Kane scored us goals and got us to a final, win a trophy, got us deep into the Champions League, you would definitely take it.
Yep.
It hasn't been announced yet, but there's nothing on the deal sheet that's going to stop this deal from going through.
Correct.
It's just a formality. They're just getting all the T's crossed, I's dotted, all that sort of stuff. So,
but that's what's funny there is that Sky Sports did say that the deal sheet for Gahey had also been submitted, but now that one's fallen apart because of the other party.
Well, there's two things. There's the other party pulled out with a deal for Palace, and also the manager threatened to walk if the deal went through, is what I heard.
Glasner?
Yeah.
Ooh.
And I mean, do you blame him? I mean, he's watching his team getting tore apart, and he's having a great start to the season.
So the argument yesterday I heard was that Parrish was like, we don't want to risk him going for free next summer. Yep. Where Glasner is saying he's our captain. If we perform well, there's every expectation that he may be willing to sign a contract extension. Where Parrish was sitting there going, he's already made it abundantly clear he wants to go elsewhere. He's not going to sign a new contract. And Glasner's just like, we'll see.
Yeah. I think Glasner knows he's probably going to go for a free, but he doesn't want to lose another important player.
Right.
He'd rather lose him on a free than lose him this season.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough, isn't it? Surprised no one for Justin Cliver. We're same for Semenyo as well, to be fair. No one really went in for him with a serious offer. So Bournemouth didn't really need to sell, though, did they, after they got rid of Hewson? Their books were balanced, so they're absolutely fine. Anyway, looking at our window, it was a very, very poor start. A very slow start. We missed out on numerous targets. I think
not for lack of trying, though.
No, not from lack of trying, but I still think once we'd lost out on those targets, I thought we were very slow to move on to the next ones. I think the one I'm mainly really upset about was João Pedro.
Yeah, agreed.
I think he would have been superb in our team.
Yep. That false 9, pseudo 10 that could have unlocked defenses for us.
Yeah, 100%. And again, he's tall. Look at the headers he scored for Chelsea.
Do you think maybe, again, not that we keep talking about it, but the fact of the matter is having no leadership. I mean, we knew at the turn of the year that Darren Eales was stepping down. So why we weren't making any headway on that front was a surprise. And then for Mitchell to announce at the end of the season that he was also stepping down, kind of put us on the back foot. And and there are several pundits who have said, because that lack of leadership, that lack of structure, no one was quite sure who was running the farm, so to speak. When it came to negotiating those bids, was it all Andy Howe? Was it all Steve Nixon? Was Jamie Rubin intimately involved with any of those early forays in the transfer market? It's a question that I'm not sure we'll ever have the answer to.
No, I don't think we do. I don't think we ever will. It seemed to jump from one person to another person, didn't it? I mean, this is why I put up the tweet that I put out. I said Eddie Howe has been let down by our owners. And this was even when we were signing players at the back end of the window. And the reason why I said that is the reason why he's been let down is that we went into the start of a Premier League season with Fasula as our main striker and Gordon as backup. But backup ended up outdoing Osula and he ended up playing and then he got a red card, which made it even worse. Right. So this is why I said that Eddie Howe had been let down. Eddie Howe asked for reinforcements early through the door to get them into training, to get them up to speed and get them ready for the Premier League season. And now we're seeing Jacob Ramsey turns up, Voltemade's turning up, Wissa's turning up, but all when the season's already started. And that's why I said what I said. And I think they've had a massive kick up the backside because of this Isak situation. The rat has forced us and forced the owners to get involved more than what they thought they would. And they've realised how bad the backroom staff have been and how slow they've been on reacting to what's going on and getting players through the door. I mean, this should have been the most exciting. I mean, it's turned out to be quite exciting, but this should have been the most exciting summer window we've had since that January window when we got saved. Champions League football, we've just won a trophy. We should have been like at least 2-3 signings in before the start of the start of the season, and Wilson's replacement. That was the main gripe that I had. He left on like the 4th of July or 6th of July or something like that. And we've only just replaced him today.
Right.
That is a failing. That is a failing of the club.
Agreed.
And they've let Eddie down in that way. And Eddie, being Eddie, would not say that in public, and he never will. But I think he feels let down a bit.
I think that's fair. I agree. But I think the team that he's had, when I say the team, I mean the personnel that he's had at his disposal to make deals happen. The likes of Steve Nixon and of course Eddie's nephew Andy. I think they've done the best that they've been able to do with that lack of leadership and without any concrete, reinforcement. I think it's fair to say that when Yasser came for the Sella Cup, and then when he came for the game against Liverpool, I think he said, "Damn it, we got to do something here and make it happen soon." So that's my feeling.
This is a valid point from Northern Golfer. What have the club learned from this window so we don't have another one like this? You would hope they know they need a CEO and DOF in. Now, I still believe the COF and the DOF is already employed, or one of them is 100% and has already been doing stuff in the background. The reason why they won't announce it is that if something went wrong in this window and we assigned someone halfway through the window, they would get the blame for everything. And the fans will start blaming them for everything and get on that person's back straight away. It's just how Twitter is and how social media is. The real fans wouldn't do that, and I wouldn't do that. But they're saving that person's face until after the window is shut. And then everything that goes on from when the window is shut and they're announced going forward will fall on their back. So if they fail, it will be their failures, not the start of the Windows failures and the lack of leadership at that time.
Correct.
If that makes sense. Everything should happen to start the window, but maybe just wasn't possible. I mean, some of it might not have been possible, but a lot of it should have been possible. I'm sorry. We should have been able to sign a striker. I know we went for big names and got bullied by the cartel, and and they all chose different teams, but surely there was deals out there for us to do. I mean, that Volta-made deal, people have been shouting his name for weeks and weeks and weeks before we even moved for him. So surely that could have been, I don't know. I am delighted with our window as ended with getting Nick and Wissa, and also so happy the Rat's finally gone. Also very happy with our other signings too, and I can't wait to see Nick up front. Yeah, definitely. Well, again, I think he plays as a 10. I don't know. Ten Hag already sacked, yeah. We discussed that one. The other thing is as well, would we have been put in this position, and I don't want to talk about him too much tonight because he's gone, but would he have been in the position of wanting to leave had we had the right people in the back, doing the right contracts, putting out the right information, because he's saying it was the failings of the club that have stopped the relationship from happening, not the manager, not the players, not the fans. He's saying it was the club itself in the back room that have failed on promises and things like that. So I know he hasn't got it in writing, but it's very believable. There's been a lot going on with, like you said, with Eels unfortunately being unwell and going to be leaving. There's the other Rat who left as well and dropping Eddie in the crap.
Yep.
If we'd been a more stable back room, would we have actually lost Isaac this window?
Good question. That's an interesting one. I would like to know more about that one.
Yeah. Had inside info today as Eddie was at Ramside Hall with his family, wasn't happy apparently, and was given a room to sort stuff out in private. Interesting. Maybe he found out that Sula was leaving and he didn't want him to.
It could possible.
Yeah, or maybe the deal wasn't going to get done, but maybe Eddie Howe said, "You get that deal done." Because with the Wissa deal, I know. Let's get back to the Isaac sort of thing in the back.
Yeah.
Stuff. I mean, what's your thoughts on that side of things?
I again, how many pundits have been harping on it, and then we've talked about it multiple times. Isaac didn't have anything in writing. He had nothing on paper that he could point to. If they were verbal agreements that were either with our former chair people, if Amanda and Merdad said to him, you've done really well, we should sit down and talk about a new contract or something like that. Maybe they've been angling from the beginning. They signed a 6-year deal without a release clause. Maybe they discovered that screw up and were trying to rectify that within the first year and said, we want to sit down and talk about a new contract, but we want to include a release clause. Maybe, Amanda and Merdad said, yeah, we could do that, And then, at the end of year 2, it was, yeah, we should do that. We should sit down and talk about that. And then they were dismissed.
Mitchell comes
in. And Mitchell comes in and, they go to the new guy and say, okay, so we talked to them about a new deal. We'd like to put a release contract in. And Mitchell says, sorry, you've got a 6-year deal. You're only halfway through it. There's plenty of deal to go on. There's no need to have that conversation. Maybe that's when he got bent out of shape.
Yeah. The other room.
A whole bunch of people, there are many people who were not happy. We were all thrilled when Paul Mitchell was announced because you're like, dude, here's a guy who does business. This is the guy who gets things done. And he showed up, and the very first thing we're hearing is he's making Eddie Howe look like a doofus. He's walking around, with things swinging, saying, I'm the man, not Eddie Howe. And just like, well, wait a minute. Eddie Howe's been here for 3 years. Look at what he's done in 3 years. Who are you, buddy? So I don't know. I think having that lack of leadership at the senior level at the end of last season and no real plan, or at least a an announced plan or announced appointments made available, I think that just put the whole thing into disarray. I think it was just who's minding the store, so to speak.
Yeah,
I think is
absolutely
where the problem was. I'm
so,
sorry, I haven't been paying attention to the
no, it's fine. I hope this is a good point. I mean, without Eddie Howe, Isak wouldn't have become the player that he was.
This is
or
true.
is. This is really interesting. Why haven't the PFA and FA not condemned the player striking? All this does is set a precedent for more players to do the same. Laws and rules need to be reviewed to stop it quickly. I absolutely agree with that. It's absolutely spot on, to be fair. The other thing I heard as well is that apparently we didn't have much wriggle room when it came to wages, and we improved Gordon's contract before we were going to improve Isak's contract to keep Gordon happy. So that was another thing that I heard.
That could have been, yep.
So that's another reason why. But anyway, back to our window. How great it's been. Obviously, from the start of it was absolutely atrocious. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I was getting frustrated, but I always said, and I said it for a very long time, and kept on saying it, judge the window when the window is closed, because you don't know what's going to happen. Yes, we should have got players in before the start of the season, but these things happen. So this is what our window looks like now on paper. You know, you got Alanga, and then Ramsdale comes in, and then Chow signs as the season started, and then Jacob Ramsey comes in. That was a surprise one. That came out of nowhere.
Out of nowhere, yep.
Yeah, Voltamade came out of nowhere, but we've seen his name mentioned quite a lot of times, but never put two and two together. We just thought it was never really going to happen. But
idle talk, yeah.
Yeah. And then this has been going on for a month, and he's finally got his wish. Now, players out, it's just as good as well, to be fair, because if you look at the players out, Callum Wilson freed up his wages, Jamal Lewis freed up his wages, Lloyd Kelly sold him, Sean Longstaff sold him, Martin Dubravka sold him, Greek goalkeeper went out on loan, Isaac Hayden had his contract cancelled and he left a year before it was due to run out. Matt Targett's gone on loan to Borough. Not sure what the terms are on that and how much Borough are paying. And then, of course, Alexander Isak is also gone. And then on top of that, you've also got Sanusi's gone out on loan to League One in France, which I think is a great move for him. And Harrison Ashby will also leave to compete his annual championship loan as well. So he's going to go somewhere in the championship.
And that'll be his last move, because his contract was up at the end of this season. Yeah. And then Travis Hearns just went on loan as well from the under-21s.
Yeah. So we've done a lot of business in a very short space of time, where it feels like we've basically done a January window, doesn't it?
Yeah. I want to go back to this one fast if I can. Jimmy was saying, somebody on Twitter said that Isak did travel to Austria. If you go back and look at that footage, he's in the whitewater rafting video. He doesn't look happy, but he's there.
Yeah.
He didn't get on the plane to go to Singapore. That's when he didn't get on. He went to Austria, and then he was sent home from Hampden Park when they went to play Celtic in the first preseason game. Eddie sent him home saying that his head wasn't right.
That's right.
And then we boarded planes right after Celtic. I mean, immediately after that loss, we were on a plane. Didn't we fly directly from Glasgow?
I think so.
Yeah. And they went to Singapore, and Isak was not on that plane. And then while we were in Singapore and Korea, then he went, he stayed behind supposedly with a thigh injury. And then all of a sudden he was at his former club, Sociedad, using their facilities to train. Because let's be honest, nobody was at Benton. Everybody involved with Newcastle was on the plane and in the Far East. All of the fitness trainers, all of those folks, they were all with the squad in the Far East, because that's where our players were.
Yeah.
So that's why he went off to Sociedad, because at least then He was familiar with some people in the staff there, and there were facilities that he was familiar with. Was it right? I would say that it wasn't. But anyway.
Alan's been a member for 25 months. That's absolutely incredible, Alan. Thank you for your continuing support. Amazing guy. And it's gone out on loan to Dutch League. Yeah, exactly. We've got some good loans going on. It's great. Didn't mean to tap that laugh. Like, hey, nothing wrong with that. Like to know these things. Isaac didn't travel to Austria with the squad. He made his own way there. We should have known something was up then. That's true, to be fair. That's what I thought. I just wasn't sure about which came first then. Fair enough. So looking at our window, who was your favourite signing?
Who was my favorite signing? Well, to be honest, I mean, the one I think I was most excited to get across the line was probably Chow, simply because we'd been after him for so long. You know, I was thrilled that we signed Elanga, especially, I mean, with all the cutesy stuff early in the summer, when everything looked so dismal. You know, watching Elanga and Asula goofing off in Asula's kitchen, you know, that was fun stuff. I said in the middle of last year, I said the brotherhood between Joe Willock and number 14 was something that we should all aspire to. Well, that one's gone to shit too. I was thrilled to see Elanga come through the door. I was surprised to see Aaron Ramsdale, but actually happy because we know that one, Eddie Howe brought him to Bournemouth, so he's familiar with him. I think he's been hard done with his last two moves. You know, he finally earned the number one move to a big club by going to Arsenal, and then they brought in David Raya, and so he got screwed there. Then he moved to Southampton, and let's just be honest and say Southampton didn't have the best season, and they went down. This was an option for him to get back into the good graces. So I was thrilled to see Aaron Ramsdale. But I think Malik Chow was the one I was most excited about, simply because we were after him last summer and it didn't happen. So to actually see him standing in St. James's Park with a number on a kit, there's that. We always say, don't believe it until we see the player, either holding a scarf aloft or holding a kit. Seeing Malik Chow sign was exciting. The Jacob Ramsey one, the Voltamade one, all of them, both of those were surprises. I am happy to get Wissa, but as I said at the very beginning of the transfer show, I see the Wissa one with an asterisk next to it, simply because I don't agree with the way that he did it. I think he did the same thing that Isak did to us, though he brought receipts. He came with all the promises that were made to him in writing, and he could point back at him saying, here's where you said, Isak didn't have any of that. So that's why he has an asterisk. That's why he has an asterisk, because I didn't agree with the way he did it, but he's our player and he got the deal done because he stood up for himself.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I've warmed to it a little bit more, because obviously we all said we don't like how he's acted. We don't like how he's played Brentford, a bit like how Isak's done to us, because we didn't have his statement. As soon as I heard his statement, I can see why he was unhappy.
Yep.
With Isak's statement, there's no proof, there's no evidence, there's no black and white. And the fact that he said he has it in black and white, that is massive. That makes a huge difference. Is it possible that NFC had another forward being lined up to come in but fell through, so a sort of deal pulled? The cover story seems fishy to me. Do you know, you can't rule anything out the way this window's gone. I was still hoping that Larson would come through, but there we go. But you could be right, but maybe we'll find out. Les, thank you so much for that. Really appreciate that. I hope the grandson's well. And hope the wife's getting better as well. And always thank you.
Kaz, do you think also Larson, I hate to say it this way, Wolves made it clear that they weren't going to sell. Even if we stumped up the money, they were going to fight it. Larson wanted to come, but at the same time, was there an element of, coming off the bench and scoring 2 goals in 5 minutes against West Ham to beat West Ham in the Carabao Cup? Did that also damn him? Because then that means here he's now cup tied in that competition. So here's a guy that wasn't going to be able to do much for us. So it was kind of a check against him this window. Maybe it's something that we look at in January when Wolves are out of the Carabao Cup, out of the FA Cup, and possibly sitting in 18th and 19th place.
The FA Cup doesn't start till January, so that will be difficult.
Right.
I don't think it makes any difference that he cup tied himself in the Carabao Cup, because it's one small competition where we've got bigger fish to fry. I don't think that would have been that much of an issue, to be honest with you. Were rumours Ukraine forward at Roma was a possible loan? Yes, I did hear. I mean, that could have been the reason why Asula was allowed to go, because he was potentially on the move. I honestly don't know, but it's interesting when you think about it all, doesn't it? We're going to go back to that question. Not being on Twitter much, but I'm getting back into it. Message soon. Okay, to Les. Well, let's talk about that. So we have these two incredible players now. I think Wissa becomes the next Andy Cole for us. I really do. Like I said, he's that type of player. Voltamir could be the Peter Beardsley alongside him.
Right.
I mean, this could be a pairing that works really, really well, because he can drop as a 10 and play in the midfield as well. So,
and they're both W's. So here's the World of Warcraft coming at you.
Yeah, I like it. And one's German.
We had the SAS of Blackburn with Shearer and Sutton.
Yeah.
Now we have the WoW of Voltamade and Wissa.
Yeah, the W's. We just need to put an E in there somewhere, and we've got entertainment as well, haven't we? But yeah, I mean, this is a pairing that could work, and like I say, it works in different ways. We've got Wolves as our first game back after the international break. Does he play them both straight away?
I tell you what, they're both fit. They've both been in preseason. They've both been training. So I think it's every possibility. The thing I question, who do you drop?
I think with J7 being injured, I think we changed the formation a little bit and only have the two in midfield.
So we go 4-2-3-1. We go Bruno and Tonali play as a double pivot 6, and then we see Voltamade play as the 10 behind a Vissa, and then we've got Gordon left, but won't be. He's got 2 more games. So Barnes left, Elanga right.
Yeah. And then you got the 2 in midfield. That'll do I mean, that's what we sort of tried.
Then you got Jacob Ramsey and Miley and Willock off the bench.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
And we've got to drop this back 5 nonsense.
Yeah.
Because Chow, Botman, and Byrne and Shaw, they're all not fast enough to help out in midfield, to get in and back into shape again. The ball's too slow coming out of the defence at times as well with them. You've got to stick at 4 at the back. I didn't like what we did against Leeds. I thought the only positive out of the Leeds game was Jacob Ramsey with his ball running capabilities and his pace when he got in down the left a couple of times. But every time I saw us going forward, where normally the wings are our most dominant areas where we've got class out there, all I saw was Tino and all I saw was trips.
Yeah.
And it was too slow.
Yeah.
And then Tino didn't have the quality, unfortunately, going forward that we would see when Barnes or Gordon's on the ball, or when Murphy or Elanga was on the ball on the right. It was missing. Everything was missing from that performance in the Leeds game. So I don't want to see 5 at the back again. You're right the first time down. It's
Voltamada.
Voltamada. These deal sheets only go in until 9 p.m., don't they? I don't know. But we won't see the hostage video till either 10 o'clock tonight or 10 o'clock tomorrow night. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's getting done.
Gary indicates that yes, that is true.
Yeah, Gordon and Joe Linton will be back for Barcelona game. That's good. Have to be completed before 9 p.m. Yes, I'm sure it will be. they've got 21 minutes. Don't get me worried while we're on a stream talking about our squad. Funny if we don't get Wissa and we keep Isaac. Yeah, but I can't. If we don't get
those ships have
Wissa,
sailed.
I can still see Isaac going. 100, that 5 wasn't smart. It's got to be Hall at left back, Tino at right back with Byrne, Botman, and Shah Chow at centre back, like the pairings, one of the two. The 5 was not smart at all. He could play Wissa as left wing. He could. I mean, Wissa can play across the front three.
And then Voltamata up front by himself.
Yeah.
Alanga on the right, and this on the left. Could be.
Yeah. Could be. I wouldn't say no to that either. But looking at the squad now, we all said it at the start of this summer window, before it even started, we all said, what do we want to see from this window? And we all said goalkeeper, a right centre-back, a right winger, and another striker. So we have delivered.
Yep.
The only thing is we never expected to see Isaac out the door and 2 strikers coming.
Right.
But looking at that squad, and I mean, you can also throw in Murphy, the centre back. He'll probably
Alex Murphy. Yep.
Yeah,
yep.
He'll probably get a squad number. Neve will probably be thrown in there as well. But these are like the best that I can think of that would definitely be in the squad. What do you make of it?
I think that's we've strengthened in every position that we needed to. You know, we've been screaming that we needed an alternative to Share that wasn't Kraft. You know, and while Lascelles was still injured, Lascelles is still on his way back, and we brought in Chow. We said we needed another midfielder because we couldn't count on J7 or Willick, you know, regularly because they were either constantly injured or, you know, or serving a suspension. We brought in Ramsey out of nowhere, and he's, you know, as you said, great ball control, great energy going forward, also has defensive capabilities, so that's good. We needed somebody out on the right to work for Murphy, because we've seen that Gordon and Barnes, their natural position is the left wing. Them on the right it's not adequate, it's not efficient. They're both right footers that play on the left. They're inverted wingers, and they don't play on the right well. So we brought in Alanga. That was great. And like you said, you know, losing Rat Boy number 14 and Wilson in the same window was a potentiality that we weren't quite prepared for. So we were already aware that we were going to have to make 1. We didn't know we were going to have to bring in 2. The fact that we brought in both in the last week has been terrific. And then the surprise of all surprises was, you know, bringing in Ramsdale on loan, you know, to start. And it's a straight loan. There's no obligation to buy there. We brought him in to back up Pope. It allows us to sell on Dubravka for an undisclosed
couple of million
fee.
on it.
Yeah, undisclosed fee. Well, some reports have said it was a free transfer. I don't think so. I think there's probably one or two, which means we probably made our money back on him, you know, for 7 years investment. It also allowed Sean Longstaff to look at his career options and think to himself, you know what, I'm not going to get minutes here. It's just not going to happen. I'm 27 years old. I'm thinking it's time. And being a Geordie boy, he knew he could leave for nothing next year, but he wanted to see the club get something out of nothing, you know. And as a PSR move, his sale was straight profit since he came out of the academy.
Yeah.
So, you know, it worked out altogether. The six players that we brought in over the summer make for a really surprisingly good window, given how slow we were coming out of the gate.
It's an absolute crazy window in my eyes, because nobody could tell me that the window was going to end up like this.
I like Jimmy Owen's comment about playing
this
on the left wing because he had Strand Larson up front.
Yeah.
So
CDM cover still worries me, as Miley's still a bit lightweight in my opinion as he develops. Miley's a bit of a brick of a player. He's a unit.
6'4" now.
I do think he needs to up his game though. I think he's too slow sometimes in transitions. I think he's too comfortable in playing the easy pass all the time, rather than maybe taking a risk. I think that's something that he needs to develop in his game. Remember when he got that assist for target in the? I want to see more of that. I want to see more of those runs. Taking a risk, taking on players because he's got it in him.
Yep.
But I want to see more of it.
Yep. Agreed.
Our lads are too class to do it, but I love it if every one of them refuses to shake Rod's hand at Anfield. Why do we have to go there?
That would be interesting. That would be funny.
So someone's just put in our group the three strikers, Isaac, Wissa, and Voltamade. And both our strikers put together and make the complete forward. Isaac not even in the conversation because Voltamade has got everything that Isaac does, and Wissa's got that little bit extra that both of them don't have.
Agreed.
So, and it's there in black and white on a bit of paper now. It's great to see it. Yep. We forgot about signing as well. PSR for the next 4-year contract. What did we forget about? I'm lost there. Sorry, pal. I still haven't seen the Ashby confirmation or rumor. I've seen the rumor, but there's no confirmation yet because they're working on where he's going to go. And I think loans can be done for another 30 days after the window closes. I think the rules are. I'm not 100% sure. Not 100% sure. But now looking at the squad again, the window is now slam shut, barring free transfers and maybe a loan potentially. I can't see anyone else coming in, to be honest with you. Where is this squad going to finish this season?
Top 5.
Top 5. Ooh, straight in there.
Yep.
Straight in there.
I think our new strike force is going to surprise people.
Yeah.
There's an unknown quantity with Voltamata and Vissa in our setup, playing with our midfield behind him. I think is going to be a different proposition than Brentford. So I'm thinking, I'm confident in saying 5th.
See, the top 4 is kind of flown for me. Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool.
Yeah.
I think they're the top 4.
Yeah.
5th is between, I would say, us and Spurs.
Yeah.
I don't see anybody else getting into the conversation now. Not the way Villa have unfortunately capitulated. And I feel really sorry for Villa, by the way, with what's happened to them because of PSR. But they are looking a shell of themselves compared to last season, with Rashford having to go back to Man United, then being sold to Barcelona, Asensio going back to Real Madrid, and they can't get him back on loan.
Right.
Keeping Martinez is a big plus for them.
Yep.
I mean, he'll save them a lot of points. But I think they're not going to be in the conversation for top 5 now because of that. I think that's from an Alice Talks Football vid. She said Voltamade replaces Rats technically and Wissa replaces physicality. Yeah, something like that. It was more aerial ability with Wissa. He scores a lot of goals with his head because he's in the right place at the right time. So, yeah, I'm going to say we finished top 6. And I think it's between us and Spurs. Because I think they've really improved this season.
I think so. I think, but losing Son is going to be a thing for them.
I think they've replaced him though in Xavi Simons.
Well, that's true, but we haven't seen him play yet. We haven't seen him fit.
No, true.
And I think Thomas Frank is still figuring out what his starting 11 is. What is his first choice starting 11? So now that the window's done and everybody has gotten the players that they wanted to get in, or at least were able to get in, now we're going to see international breaks with international players playing for their international teams, but the coaching staffs are going to be back with the players that aren't out. It's not a break for them. It's they're going to still be working day in, day out. I think we're going to see some. I think we're going to see some interesting stuff here. I think Eddie Howe's going to be champing at the bit now. I mean, Voltemata is not a full German international, is he?
He was under 23s, and I think he's been called into the squad, hasn't he?
I don't know.
But he's
Anybody know? Anybody in the comments know if Voltemata has been called up to the German national team for this international window? Is he at least in the squad? He may not even see the bench, but has he been called up to camp?
I'm not 100% sure.
Blade says yes, he has.
There you go.
So Sky Sports was talking to John Del Thomason during the hour that we were away.
Okay.
And apparently he's pissed off. He's happy that Rat Boy has gotten his move, but he says, "Where the hell are you?" He said that was the first thing he said to him when he spoke to him, because he was meant to be on a plane to Stockholm meeting up with the national team, and he's still at Anfield. And there you go. Thank you, Scott. So yeah, apparently Thomason is not happy that he hasn't shown up to camp yet. Yes, I understand you have I's to dot and T's to cross, but get your ass to camp. So, which I thought was fun.
That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. I'm trying to figure out when the AFCON starts.
It's in December. I want to say it's like the 18th of December, the 16th of December.
AFCON dates 2025. 21st of December.
21st.
And it runs until potentially
28th of January.
18th of January.
18th of January. All right. So not as bad.
It's almost a month though, isn't it?
Well, yeah, but there's some Christmas holidays in there as well.
Yeah, there is, yeah.
So Sky Sports, Leslie says Sky Sports just showed Rat Boy getting on the plane.
Yeah.
I'm still bent. I know it's done. I know we got our money and this, that, and the other, but at the same time, I'm just angry. I'm still angry about it. I'm going to be harboring resentment there for a long, long time.
You are. I think we all are. So games Wissa could miss if he travels before the start of it. This is the thing. The thing starts on the 21st, the first match. So it depends on when they need to travel. But Chelsea, 20th of December. Man United, 27th of December. Burnley, 30th of December. Palace, 3rd of January. Leeds, 7th of January. Wolves, 17th of January. And then the 7th game of the Champions League, 21st of January, PSV. So they're the games he could be missing for. Depends how deep they go in the competition, though.
Right.
And whether he goes up. Could you retire from international football and save us a headache?
Maybe. Does Congo have enough players coming through? That's the thing. He's a senior level. He's a senior player for the Congolese national team now.
Yeah, I know.
So,
Liam, nothing's happened with Wissa yet. All the paperwork's in. We're just waiting for it to be confirmed, which I'm sure it will be, because we're being told there's nothing on the paperwork that should stop anything from going through. We could have gotten top 4 on last day, even with losing 12 games, including the last match day. It's very possible top 4. I think everything's different this year, though, because of the amount of money those guys have spent. The players have got in, the starts to the season they've all had. We're lagging behind already after 3 games. Liverpool have got a 100% record. Arsenal have won 2 out of 3. Spurs have won 2 out of 3. They've got 6 points as well. Have Chelsea won all 3 games? They have, haven't they? Yeah, Chelsea won all 3 games. So they're probably top of the league.
Don't get
And
me started.
so Liverpool, Chelsea are the ones with 100% records. Spurs, Arsenal, Man City are the ones who were struggling a little bit, which is really surprising. But remember,
Yeah,
we've
Man
only
City-
got 2 points as well.
Man City's in 13th.
Yeah.
But West Ham started off poorly, and now they're above us
Man
because
City's
they've
the
won
one
one
that,
game.
yeah, and we've drawn 2, lost 1.
Yeah, right now top of the league is Liverpool. Chelsea are in 2nd, Arsenal's in 3rd, Spurs are in 4th, Everton's in 5th.
Yeah, that's
The
not going
Mackhams
to
are
last.
the Mackhams are in 6th.
That's not going to last.
Man
Fucking
United's
better
in
not.
9th.
That won't last.
Yeah, once Man City figures themselves out, they're gonna start leaping up the table, and I think
Oh yeah, the drew.
our guys are. I think our guys are gonna get. I think our guys are gonna get a kick up the pants as well when everybody's back.
Everyone's back. Feel good factor. We beat Wolves. That puts us onto 5 points, and that'll jump us right up the table.
There's a question. I don't see it happening.
I don't think we need to now because of all the defenders we've got. I'd be surprised. Let's not talk about them. Chelsea 7, yeah, they drew with Palace 0-0 on the opening day of the season. I forgot about that.
Yep.
Look, Daz, from now on, we'll see La Vie and Roses. Just like last season, Man City, I never sleep. Man City, a weird team who could just go on a run, though, and start blitzing everyone, couldn't they? So I don't want to.
Holland hasn't found his feet yet. I think the interesting one for us to watch is going to be Everton, because I really, truly do believe that Grealish has injected some creativity into that side. I mean, he had the 2 assists in the 1 match in their win. So I think there's going to be some changes there. I don't see Everton. I see them probably mid-table. I don't see them in the bottom half like they were last season. So
no, I think they'll do all right, but I don't think they'll be in the contention for a Champions League spot.
No,
or even a European spot. I think they'll finish between 9th and 12th.
Okay, fair enough.
I mean, that's a solid season for them, especially after the disarray they've had this summer as well. They've not been. I mean, them getting Jack Grealish in at the end of the window was a massive plus for them.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been the orchestra of why they've won the last 2 games, to be fair.
Agreed.
Yep. But that won't go on forever. Grealish has been solid. He has been solid. Do you know what it is? I actually even warmed to the fact of taking Grealish as an attacking midfielder, number 10 or what it is, but it was too late by then. And again, it's the age thing. Don't want him and Wissa coming in, I suppose, at the ages that they were at. But I would have been happy to see him in a Newcastle shirt, even though I wouldn't have said that 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago. Yeah. But that's both of us going for a top 6 finish at least, I think. I think we're going to be in that conversation again. I think 5th will get Champions League football for the main reason we've got 6 teams in that competition this year. It means we should get plenty of points, and it should put us in that top 2 bracket of English clubs to then be given 5th as the Champions League spot again. Yep. So
agreed.
That's got to be the aim. It's got to be Champions League football, because we cannot be in the position that Villa are in this year, because that would kill our squad. I think we're going to be safe for at least 2 years with the Isak deal, but the longer you're without Champions League football, the worse and worse the PSR situation gets.
So because we didn't spend all the money this window, we've got a little bit to spend in January.
It doesn't really work like that, unfortunately.
Well, so it's annual, not
so January. Window. Yes, January. I was thinking, are you going to start talking about next summer and the summer after? No. But it's.
I'm saying, we get to, because Wissa's going to be gone for most of January. When that January 1 window opens up, could we conceivably go after? We could see Frankfurt come back for Asula, and we could then the possibility of of getting another forward, either on loan or a permanent deal.
He always makes me laugh.
It could happen. I'm with you, Blade. It could happen. Yeah. Did you see the comment about Pardue slating the Big Six?
Yeah.
And PSR. PSR is going to go away at some point.
Oh, it's going to be a while.
And I know that there have been other fans that have jumped on our case saying, "Hey, you guys agreed on it. You voted for it." Well, okay, yeah, we voted for it when Ashley was our owner. Ashley wanted to see people only spend what they made, because he didn't want to put any money into it.
Yeah, exactly.
Now we've got owners with conceivably bottomless pockets who can't spend because of the rules that were put in place.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that, we should also boo-hoo-hoo, woe is us. Now we have money, so we should be allowed to spend. That's not the case either. I'm just saying, in Major League Soccer, Baz, we've talked about this before. When Beckham came over, it was the designated player rules. Now, there's a salary cap in Major League Soccer, and that salary cap has increased over the years and everything. But way back then, when Beckham entered the league, the salary cap was something like $4.3 million for the entire roster.
Yeah.
Okay. And remember, when Beckham signed, that was supposedly a 5-year deal worth $250 million. Okay. So that means he was getting paid $50 million a season.
Yep.
Well, he wasn't getting the $4.5 million that was the whole salary cap. He was getting the max that one player could earn. And I think at that time it was something like $130,000 was the most. That meant that the other $49 million was coming out of the Galaxy's owner's budget. It was what they were willing to spend. That's what I think PSR needs to be. There needs to be a set limit, but if your owner wants to spend more and they're capable of spending more, then they should be allowed to.
Yeah, I agree. As long as it doesn't put the club at risk. That's what it's always been about. PSR was always about stopping clubs from deferring payments and going into bankruptcy.
Right.
That's what it was brought in for.
Overspending like Leeds.
Yeah.
Overspending like Leeds, or overspending like other teams have done in the past.
Yeah.
I always go back to Leeds and David O'Leary and Peter Ramsdale.
Yeah.
Ramsdale, whatever.
Which is why I've always said, if a club wants to spend big, there should be put down a deposit or a holding security bond on the club. And if the club gets in trouble, Premier League takes that bond and says, right, that's paying your debt off.
Yep.
And you're not seeing that money again. It's like a security deposit. Like when you go to a hotel and you fuck up the room, you lose your money. So that's if you fuck up the club, you lose your money. That's how it should be. It should be the owners being punished, not the club being punished. So there should be a way of bringing something like that in, because we all know the Saudis will put up as much as they need to get us to be near the top. Yep. Now, I understand they don't want that sort of competition either, so there has to be some sort of cap that they're allowed to put in. And every club should be allowed to put in what the top teams can put in. So if Man City can put in 50 million, then the Saudis should be able to put 50 million in.
Right, exactly.
So, yeah.
Cheers, Roger. Ta-da.
There's got to be ways around it.
Blade, yes, the Beckham deal was complicated. And yes, part of his deal was he got to own a major league franchise to be named later at a location to be named later for the measly cost of $25 million. Let's put that into perspective. When he joined the league in 2003, 2004, he came into the league and he was promised that part of his contract was he had the right to own a franchise for $25 million. Just to put that into perspective, San Diego started their major league franchise last year in 2025. Well, this is their first year. The owner of San Diego, the entry fee for standing up that franchise was $500 million.
Wow.
So that's how much, and I still don't agree. I mean, supposedly the San Jose earthquakes up the street are worth $800 million.
Really?
I'm just sitting there going, it's got to be it has to be the real estate that the stadium is sitting on, because it's California, because it's the South Bay area, and it includes a lot. It's not just where the stadium is. The owner also owns a bunch of not industrial, but retail property flanking the stadium. So I'm sorry, the team's not worth that. Not even close. So
I've literally just put a poll up, right? And I mean, we're talking 2 minutes.
In Twitter?
Okay. Yeah, on Twitter, yeah. Okay. And straight away, someone's jumped on it before it's even finished. It's only been on for 14 minutes. Fans' faith has taken a knock. Confidence in the club pushing on and better in last season's finish seems to be wavering. Communication from the club right now is important, especially after going back on the statement. And he screenshotted it when it was like 38% think we'll finish between 6th and 7th. 33% of us say we're going to finish 5th. 19% 4th, and 8.3% think 8th or below. And there's been 325 votes on it so far. But wait till the poll's finished. It's 14 minutes into it. Finishing between 6th and 7th is not a bad finish. Finishing 5th is a great finish. Finishing the top 4 is an unbelievable finish.
Right.
So
it could happen. It could happen forever.
Man U will get results because of the bent refs and VAR. If Voldemort and Wizard don't start scoring straight away, there's going to be pressure coming from the stands. Honestly, I give in. This is why sometimes I just laugh at Twitter. But there you go.
Here we got I can't. That was so long ago, Blade. I'll get back to you on that one. I would think that's true.
Event potentially depends how many American owners they are at the moment. No offense to you guys, but that this is where the problems are. The American owners want it to be too like the American sports with no relegations and stuff like that, and making it so that they don't lose out on money, which is fair enough. So that's why they're trying to cancel out all other owners with bigger money and bigger thresholds, because they're scared that they're going to lose out on money, and that's what rules the world, unfortunately.
Then this one.
Yeah. The Coutinho money.
I'm with you there, Jimmy.
Sorry, I'd rather put money into an old English club and bring them back from a lurch for the money, but that's just me. Yeah, I get
that's
that.
why I like seeing Wrexham doing what Wrexham is doing. I understand it's a marketing agency's wet dream. I get that. Yeah. But I can appreciate what's being done there.
Yeah, absolutely. 14 votes needed to change my rules within the Premier League. Yeah, 14 votes need to be to change any rules, unfortunately. Right. That's the end of the show. We will be back tomorrow night. Me and Dan will have the pleasure of speaking to Gibbo.
I'm looking forward to that one.
Yeah, an absolute professional's opinion on the window. I know you've had ours, but let's hear from John Gibson and see what he thinks of it. And I'll only
speak when spoken to.
No, don't be silly. I'll bring the poll with me as well. I think that'd be an interesting thing to talk through tomorrow night. If you guys want to get any questions for John Gibson, please drop me a message with them, and then we'll be able to ask them on the show. Yes, they have, and PSR will bite them in the backside eventually, because they've gone too quick. It's as simple as that. But yeah, so any questions for John Gibson, if you want to ask him anything about the window or anything about the club, please drop me or Super Dan Fan a message, and we'll ask it on the show tomorrow night. It'll be 8 o'clock, because I'm not back at work till Thursday. Yay. Dan, as always, you've done a great shift today. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm going to go take a nap now.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm almost ready for bed, to be fair.
There you go.
But see you tomorrow night, guys. Thank you to the chat. You've been amazing. As always, all your mods, love you to bits. And we'll see you again tomorrow night at 8 o'clock. Ta-da.